The Cowboys got the Panthers this Sunday, and the head coach has some interesting things to say about the Dallas Cowboys defense. Let's take a look into how the Cowboys defense may actually be improving. And be sure to subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content on the regular. And before we get into it, real quick rant. I'm not trying to get a job with ESPN, FS1, or even DallasCowboys.com. You see, I'm perfectly content with building up my own brand on my own platform. With that being said, I will cuss y'all ass out, man. Don't come over here on my channel with all that crybaby crap. We have to deal with that stuff all over in every other Cowboys community. I'm not dealing with it over here. You don't have freedom of speech over here, man. This is not America. This is Attack on Cowboys YouTube channel. You will be blocked if you come over here complaining, crying, doing all that goofy stuff, man. Hey, man, enjoy the content. I don't need your advice or input on how to make the content. Enjoy the damn content and SYBAU.
Shut your up.
Real, y'all boys be tripping. Oh, it's too loud. There's a month or two ago, it was, the audio's too low. Could you raise your volume up, AOC? Man, y'all, see, I'm not about to get into this with y'all. If you don't like the content, carry your ass up out the door, man. Ain't nobody trying to keep y'all here, bruh. Carry your ass up out the door, and don't let the doorknob hit you with a good Lord split you. That's all I got to say to you, man. I'm not begging for none of y'all to watch this mug, bro. The audio messing with you that bad, shut your bitch ass up and find another YouTube channel that's half as entertaining as mine with better audio. Now, let's get right into Dave Canales, the Carolina Panthers coach. He is talking about the Cowboys defense being ranked number 32 in the league.
To me, it looks like communication. I look at their roster and I look at the team that they've assembled, and they have depth. They have playmakers out there. They have two corners who will certainly catch it if you throw it to them. They're dynamic players. They have some really experienced rushers on the edge and some younger rushers that they're developing. And so, Kenny Clark on the inside as well. And I look at this group and I just see those guys figuring out how to play together in a scheme. And really, that's what it amounts to me. And I know Matt Eberflus as well, and I know he's an excellent coach. Andre Curtis, another friend of mine there on the defensive staff. They'll get these guys to play really good defense in short.
Okay, so that was Dave Canales, the Carolina Panthers coach. He kind of echoed some of the same things we've been hearing from our own coaching staff as it pertains to the biggest issue with our defense right now is the communication. If other teams can see that, that means that maybe there's actually something to that, and that's not just an excuse they're throwing out there to save face for some of their favorite players or whatever it may be. Maybe the biggest issue with the defense right now actually is communication. It's not necessarily a schematic issue. Honestly, I hope it's communication because that's fixable. That's something that you can actually work on within the season. Schematic issues, that's something that you essentially have to middle in the season and be like, hey, man, we're going to have to be dealing with this all year, and it ain't going to get better. Now, as it pertains to how things have gotten a little bit better, we're going to start off with the fact that, hey, man, they're willing to bench guys. Brian Schottenheimer, Matt Eberflus even kind of reiterated that today in his press conference, and maybe I'll upload that reaction to that tomorrow. But they both have discussed the fact that, hey, man, whoever's practicing the best and whoever's performing well in games, that's who plays. We don't have this established pecking order where guys have invincibility or we're not going to allow people to play if someone's struggling like that. So that is actually something very, very positive to hear from Matt Eberflus and Brian Schottenheimer. Now, we're going to take a look at some of the things that were happening during that Jets game that I think is definitely worth taking a look at. All right, so this is the 6 biggest runs from Breece Hall this past Sunday against the New York Jets. Now, if we're actually taking a look at how these plays kind of play out, man, I was going to kind of let this run in the background while I'm talking to you all about overall what you're going to be seeing right here. What you're seeing is, for one, the defensive line, they're getting good push. They're playing very physical in the trenches. There's not an issue with the defensive line's physicality or being pushed back or knocked off the ball or anything like that. The linebackers, they're having a little bit of growing pains as it pertains to being what Matt Eberflus needs them to be in this defense, because we all been saying this all summer long. With Matt Eberflus, his defense is going to be predicated mainly off of his linebackers being the type of guys that can kind of be anticipatory more times than not, right? You don't want your linebacker only being reactive. At times, you want your linebacker being able to beat guys to a spot or kind of recognizing the play and being able to be a step ahead of the play at times. Right now, our linebackers kind of just look a step slow. Now, whether that's processing or you got guys playing in uncomfortable positions, like they kind of talked about Kenneth Murray, got moved to a position he wasn't really comfortable with based off of Jack Sanborn going out. Shamar James had to come in. Obviously, Shamar James is going to be a rookie. He's going to process a little bit slower. So obviously, he's going to have some things to work on. Does he have really good tools? Is he a better athlete than someone like Jack Sanborn? Absolutely. But the problems that I see with the defense, luckily, are more so personnel issues, and not necessarily we need to replace guys. Just guys need to do a better job of doing what they're being asked to do, right? And I think once you see that, you'll see a lot of stuff start to get cleaned up. Now, as it pertains to some things that started happening well for the Cowboys, this is a really good example of one of those things right here, man. This was part of the reason why we saw the defense look a little bit better against the Jets, even though, yes, Justin Fields, I don't think he's the type of quarterback that can really read and diagnose a defense properly to really take advantage of the issues that our defense has been struggling with. But Wanye Thomas being back there at that safety position has, one, given us a little bit more athleticism, but two, the recognition right here. Just even on this play, as soon as the receiver breaks his route in, you can see Wanye immediately starts to drive on this ball. So if we take a look, boom, not only does he cover that, but he also kind of cuts off that lane that Justin Fields would have had to be able to actually score that touchdown. So some of the reason that our defense looked a little bit better against the Jets, and I think that we're going to continue to see this defense get a little bit better, is for one, I think they're getting more comfortable playing these zones and are kind of understanding the spacing and it's the timing of how they need to play these zones. But two, having Wanye back there and a little bit better backside coverage. And I mean, I don't know, maybe Dono needs to be looked at as well in that safety backfield. But just having another guy back there that can actually read and react and diagnose the plays and more so be proactive rather than super reactive to plays, I think that can only play in your favor as a Cowboys fan. But there are signs of life with the defense. For instance, James Houston, he's number 3 in the league right now with splash plays. And he's above a guy named Micah Parsons that plays for the Green Bay Packers. James Houston is listed at number 3. Now, obviously, it's less opportunities, but a splash play consists of sacks, pressures, tackles for a loss or no gain, interceptions, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, passes defended, tackles on 3rd and 4th down that don't result in a first down. And James Houston's 3rd in the league in that, so that's another bright spot that you're kind of see emerging on this Cowboys defense, along with someone like a Donovan Ezeraku, who just, it's a matter of time before he starts really making a lot of impactful plays for this team as far as splash plays, because he's already making a lot of really impactful plays, but they're more so plays that you would only appreciate. If you're a real student of the game, you understand what you're looking at. But James Houston, Donovan Ezeraku, there's a lot to like on your line. Jadeveon Clowney has provided you a little bit of a stability off of the edge position. Dante Fowler's starting to wake up a little bit. The interior of your D-line is playing absolutely amazing. And honestly, y'all, there's no place to go but up from here, because the Cowboys literally bottom 5 at damn near every defensive category that doesn't have anything to do with rushing. And as far as rushing goes, they're about middle of the league, essentially. They're middle of the pack, essentially, is what they're looking at as far as rush yards per game given up. And that's been inflated a little bit by a couple of performances by some quarterbacks, right? But either way, I do think the Cowboys, they have some things that to look forward to. I don't think this is a situation where we just completely have to throw this thing away and say, hey, we're not going to get better. I do think that the defense is going to continuously get better week by week, and I can't wait to see what they look like against Carolina and after that, because it's going to be exciting, especially when you know you're going to be adding more players to this via getting healthy and maybe even via trade, right? But either way, is the Dallas Cowboys defense getting better? A little bit, having Wanye Thomas back there and the ability he showed to be able to track down balls and just kind of keep everything in front of him as a safety, especially when you're playing that too deep look. You need your safeties to keep everything in front of you. And Wanye has done a good job of doing that since he's been in. And then obviously the pass rush has started to wake up a little bit. So we have something to build off of at least. I don't think it's a situation where we just completely be void of hope. So I will say that at least there's something to build off of, but I'm still absolutely extremely nervous to see that defense get on the field at any point. I'm going to let y'all know that right now. Either way, appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, them Cowboys.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Woo, shut up, my boy. Hey, I'm still them boys.